My name's Roy Douglas, and I'm the founder of Clean Catalog. We provide academic catalog software for colleges and universities, and we focus on community and technical colleges. We started while we were doing web development with a local community college in Washington State, and they were having a lot of difficulties with their catalog, both on the front end and on the back end. On the front end, they had a massive PDF that was about 300 pages. Well, most of their students accessed the catalog via their phones, and that was very difficult for students and prospective students to use. And it was a large file, and they had trouble searching it. And then on the back end, the editing process was extremely painful for everybody involved. They had edits coming in by hand on hard copies, they had email edits coming in, they had departments editing sections of the catalog that they weren't supposed to edit, so advising would edit courses that instruction was responsible for, and then those edits would get included, and then instruction would not know where they came from and they have to revert it. And then once everything finally got into the InDesign document, the designer would check and make sure layouts were good, no headings were on their own page, widows, orphans, etc. And shortly before publishing, a new degree would be added, and that would have to be proofed, and everything would go through the process. And things ended up being late and not as high quality as they could have been, and it drove everybody crazy. And so we developed Clean Catalog for them to solve both of those problems. On the front end, it provides a beautiful website that can be accessed on phones, tablets, any sort of devices, and always loads fast and is easy to search and navigate. On the back end, we provided workflow capabilities and editing capabilities that resolved almost all of those issues and made editing the catalog about as easy as it could be. So we're going to give you a tour of both the front end and the back end. And let's get going on the front end. We're going to use Bevel State Community College here in Alabama as our sample. We just rolled out with them this year, and they're using most of our features and are a great sample site for displaying it. We'll probably jump around to a few other colleges as well, just to show you kind of the breadth of what we can do. So as you can see here on the front end, as an overarching principle, everything is customizable. That's clearly you can use your college's branding, your colors, your fonts, etc. And the layout and everything, how it's organized, and your navigation is everything's customizable. So if you want to display something different on the homepage or different navigation, or if you want to, just do a totally different layout of some sort, that's all very doable. And we work closely with colleges to make sure everything fits exactly how they want it to be. And we can continue to revise it after initial launch. If things aren't working quite how you want them to, we are always open to adjusting it. And we want colleges to just have a great experience with how things look. So we're going to do a quick tour of some of the text pages. So for most catalogs, you are going to have a lot of text pages of general information, your vision statement, your values, things like that. You can navigate to those easily. They're laid out like this. One feature we recently added is, and it's optional, but any page on your site can be automatically created as a PDF. So whenever you edit this values page, we can create a PDF of it, which then downloads, and you open it, and it will have a text version of the page. Where things get slightly more interesting is with courses. So likely in your catalog you have a list of several hundred courses. And we can lay this out several different ways, but generally for most catalogs we have this course search page. It lists all the courses, and most people aren't going to scroll through this. In fact, they will probably use search function. So you can search, and that will search keywords on any course. But if you want to be a little more specific, you can search by programs. So if you want to just look for all the arts courses, it just reloads, and here are all your art courses. These click through to the courses. So you have your course description here, and it can lay out whatever information you want here. So most colleges have credits, lab hours and lecture hours, not always, but whatever fields you want. Again, that's something that's extremely customizable. So if you have, for example, Prerequisites, and I believe Bevel State is actually using those for some courses, but you can lay out your prerequisites here, or if you have co-requisites, or if you just have something that's specific to your school. If you have, if there is a computer science requirement and certain courses meet that, you could list that here. It could say meets computer science requirement, and that is also something you can use on the main search page. We're going to jump back to Bevel State here to show. So we have to show their degrees. So they're divided up by programs of study. This is how we organized it for them. Again, all customizable. So if you go to Career Technical Education here, we have all the information you need to have for accreditation and just for student information, attendance policy, and things like that. We also, because it's a VA requirement, list locations for everything, and that's something we can add to your catalog as needed. We're very aware of accreditation and VA requirements and everything that goes in, is required of your catalog, and we try and keep that in mind as much as possible. So if you go to Computer Science IT degree, you can see location is listed again here, and this is the program page. So this is the full computer science program. And what's cool about this is that everything is automatically generated. So when you tag, so you add the text here, that's not. But when you tag a degree as being computer science, it's going to show up on this page automatically. We try to limit how much you have to manage things and make sure there's no duplication of effort. We'll get a little more into that when we show the back end, but just want you to know where that came from. So these are all the short-term certificate for web developer. So you can see here at the top, it lists general information. Much like courses, this is all customizable. So if you wanted to, have other information here, like the length or recommended start dates we've done for some colleges. So if a degree, you can only start fall semester. We've listed that here before. But here is where things get pretty cool, is you list out courses, and one of the core principles of Clean Catalog is there's a single source of information for everything. So if you have ORI 107 and it's 1 credit, we'll get into this a little more when we show the back end, but you only change that one place, and it will reflect throughout all degrees and certificates and everywhere on your site. If it changes to 2 credits, you just do that once, and everything will update. You can go to any page on the site, and there will be an edit button. You can click on the edit button, and for most of you, this will look pretty similar if you've edited your website. You have a nice text editor here. You can bold things, you can italic things, links, all your basic functions. If you want to add images or video, it's very easy to embed them. That's all things that just come out of the box with Clean Catalog. One cool feature that really helps in managing your catalog is the revisions. So by default, everything in your site will be tracked. So if somebody makes a change, so you can see this hasn't had a lot done to it, but if you wanted to see what had changed between these 2 edits, you can see, oh, on this edit, we added a file, so that was the PDF download version, and we just cleaned up some of the markup here. So that one's not super interesting, but if, for example, you had changed a word, or you wanted to know something just didn't seem right and you want to know who had changed it and why, it would show who changed it and when they changed it and what was changed. And if you wanted to revert, you can click one of those revert buttons. So it makes it really easy to manage and kind of mistake-proofs things so that you don't lose content that you had. Everything is tracked, and it makes it a lot easier to manage your content. So if you go to something like a course, so we're looking right now at your content overview screen. This is kind of an admin screen that allows you to just search all the site's content. And you can always just go directly to a page through the front end and click edit, whatever's easiest for you. But sometimes if you're searching for specific things, the screen is helpful.